Howdy hi, friends and neighbors. Stevie Coyle here, signing in from bucolic Lafayette, California. Mighty Fine Guitars is on the wire. How are y'all doing? Do let me know if the sound is good. The picture can't be helped. That's what it is, but we probably could improve the sound a little bit, so do let me know if that can happen. Tell you what, let me jump over and start broadcasting this on my own home page. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to feature Thompson guitars today. Ted Thompson is quite wonderful. I play a Thompson guitar myself, and oh my God, does my hair really look like that? Whew. Why didn't somebody tell me? Somebody does tell me all the time. So let me share this. Copy that link there. Got it? Send it over to another page. There you go. Yep. Oh, look at that. Changed the old page today. Yes, I did. And Ted Thompson is, oh, hang on a sec, I'm getting distracted. I play one of his guitars. My old standby stage guitar that I'll play here for you in just a little bit is a Ted Thompson as well. This one is a T1, which means it's a pretty big guitar. It's a T1, and it's in Koa and Sitka. Ted Thompson, I worked at Griffin Stringed Instruments, this fabulous stringed instrument shop down here in Palo Alto, not too far away. It's creeping up on 20 years ago now, isn't it? I was working there and would make a point of playing everything that came into the shop, of course, just to see what it was like. And this was one of those Harry Potter moments where the wand chose the wizard, if I may be so bold. This guitar just said, hey, I'm yours. And that's what you want when you're buying a guitar. As a purveyor of fine acoustic guitars, that's the very best scenario of all, I think, is when the guitar tells you, I'm yours. You just got to find the money for me. Not too tough to choose after that. That's what you really want. And this one chose me. That one chose me. This one is another Ted Thompson. But look at this. That's Koa wood on the back and sides. I always think it's it's a nice little bonus. It's a nice little kick when this part of the guitar that you're looking at when you're playing is that beautiful. That's not so bad. Look at that. And the top is lovely Sitka spruce. Got a nice little tan on this one. Lots of beautiful cross grain. It's about 15 3/4 inches across the lower bout there, so it's kind of biggish. A fairly wide waist. My one, which is over there, it's cutaway, the same size here, fit in the case I was using for a Martin M36, which is what I moved around, and I sold that, and a guy bought that for me. I bought this guitar from Griffin, and it's just been great ever since. So this one is Koa. I'll play this one's got a little more kind of snap than mine, but maybe not as much depth, which I think is kind of perhaps typical of Koa. It's a little more mid-rangey, maybe a little more punchy even. I might have something there. Might have a great song out of that. Anyway, this is the beautiful binding on the, again, something that the player gets to look at is whatever binding is going on the fingerboard here. And kind of melded right into the binding there and are these lovely little position markers at 3, 5, 7, 9, and 12. So you kind of know where you are. Instead of little inlaid dots of mother of pearl or abalone, you've got these little black half circles in here. I just think that's a lovely touch. Everything on the guitar is wood. All the binding, except for the tuners, of course, but kind of no plastic involved in the binding or purfling. Ted Thompson, I wish I could find out more about him. He's a mysterious sort of character. There's not a whole lot online about him. I don't think he has a website of his own. Acoustic Guitar or Community.com or somebody features a lot of his guitars and kind of tells you all about them. But the man himself is fairly reclusive. All I know is Vernon, British Columbia. And I think that's kind of right near where Linda Manzer is as well, if I'm not mistaken. And I was once before. Boy, was I. Well, here's Here's a smaller one. This one is kind of biggish. Not exactly as wide as a dreadnought across the bottom there, but pert near. Here's sort of an O-sized Thompson. This one's called the T2. Like I say, with rosewood back and sides on this one, a little more bass, but a little less punch perhaps. Understated visually, really understated. Just nothing terribly fancy going on, but you get up close and you say, wow, look at that. This binding is really gorgeous. Koa binding, some maple involved here as well, perhaps. Lovely stuff. Oh, that's maple binding, isn't it? That's not Koa. Gorgeous thing. Just simple, elegant, plays great. So many folks come in here are looking for couch guitars that are comfy to sit on the couch with and play. Thnompson T2. Rosewood back and sides, nothing terribly fancy, but you got some beautiful stripy East Indian rosewood going on there, book matched. About the size of a double O, kind of between double O and single O rather, kind of between the size of a single O and a double O. This is 12 frets to the body, which gives it that sound. As I've said before, when you move, when you take 2 frets off the neck and shorten the neck of the guitar where it joins the body, 12 frets instead of 14 to the body here, what it does effectively is pushes the bridge down towards the middle of the lower bout. And the lower bout is really where the sound gets generated. And here, if you have the guitar being activated from the middle of this roughly circular area here, it's sort of like tapping on a drum in the middle of the drum head as opposed to tapping on a drum at the edge of the drum head. You get more boom and precision and articulation. 12-fret guitar, some folks play the meedly notes way up high there. I must say I don't often find myself there. In fact, on my guitar, which I'm so embarrassed, my pickup, the screws have let go on my pickup, so it's kind of not looking as good as it does sometimes. Come on, Missy. Let's get pretty for the folks here. There we go. So here's my beastie that I've had since, I think, 97. I think that's right. Good heavens. And this one's been all over the country. I ended up getting this, or taking this guitar out. I had 2 at the time. I had a Loudon that was wonderful. And that's the guitar I took out with the first tour with the band I was with, Menudo, and we were in Canada, and every kind of weather rather showed up that weekend. It was astonishing. It started off bright and sunny and still, and it ended up sleeting sideways. And that guitar was a Koa. No, it wasn't. It was a cedar guitar. More coffee, please. It was a cedar-topped guitar, and cedar doesn't stand up so very well to radical changes in temperature and humidity. So that was the last tour that guitar went out on, and then this one came out and has been out ever since on stage. I wouldn't have to say, sorry dear, I wouldn't say it's my alpha guitar. My alpha guitar is an Alan Perlman, little 00 sized thing, built in the manner of a Stahl Style 6 from the early 1920s. But this is just old dependable. just for comparison's sake, let me play the same thing over here on the T2 little air guitar. Little tune there by Rick Ruskin called Microphone Fever. And just for the heck of it, we'll go to the Koa and do something in the same vein. Any comments or questions, pipe up if you're on live now. It's kind of noonish Pacific Standard Time here. Got a gigantic garbage truck coming in, folks. Pardon if you hear that in the back there. Lovely guitars. That one is not for sale. These two are. 3450 and 3250. Great guitars. Ted Thompson. He's one of the greats. Builds every bit of everything, so I'm told, is built by him. Just every square inch of this has been gone over by one guy. The guy put together the whole thing, balanced this part against that, took a little off here, added a little bit there, and came up with some great guitars. Ted Thompson. There are lots of Thompsons out there. I think there are 2 other Thompsons that are building under the Thompson name. This one has this headstock that's frequently mistaken for Taylor, and it's not. That's the Ted Thompson logo right there. Aren't they lovely? You bet. Well, listen, folks, thanks for tuning in. Just a real quick little Friday noontime webcast today. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week. I want to hip you to the fact that on a week from tomorrow, the 29th, I hope that is, we're featuring here and we'll be webcasting the show as well. Catfish Keith is going to be here. Stompin' Blues on metal-bodied guitars. Very cool. And then the week after that is Peppino D'Agostino. And we'll see if Peppino will let us do the same thing, do a webcast for you here on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. Hang in there, folks. We've had music. Now it's time for action. See you down the road.